Hello and welcome to the Ask Dr. Ben podcast. I'm your host, Ben Johnson. As a holistic-minded physician, I've spent the last 20 years looking outside the box and conducting research to find the true causes of skin conditions and other diseases. And while the focus of my work has been on aesthetic medicine and unlocking the secrets to reversing skin damage, this podcast will also include many other exciting revelations pertaining to you and your family's health and well-being. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to another podcast, Ask Dr. Ben podcast. I am your host, Dr. Ben Johnson, and at some point I'm probably going to bring on guests. I'm probably a little atypical in that way, but I just have so much information to share. And so the main purpose of this podcast is give you a source to help you with your skin or with your client's skin if you're a professional, or with your patient's skin if you're a physician. The information I have to provide, let's just say I've spent the last 17 years working directly with my professional clients on a specific number of cases relating to skin and health conditions. And through that process, I've learned so much that I did not learn in medical school, so much that does not compute when it comes to the approach that most people take, and so much that contradict what you read on the internet. So I know by definition, I am also one of those sources of information you find on the internet. But I'm going to ask you to trust me, and I'm going to prove to you that I deserve your trust. If you ever have a skin issue or a problem, you write me, Dr. Ben at osmosisbeauty.com, Dr. Ben at osmosisbeauty.com, DRBEN at osmosisbeauty.com, and tell me send me a picture, tell me what supplements and meds you're on, and tell me what you would like help with. And I help just about everybody, and it's typically going to be an osmosis protocol that I'm going to recommend. Occasionally I recommend something we don't have. But that's how good our system is. We are designed to address most of the toxins and pathogens that have caused skin and health conditions. And the subject matter of today, which may have intrigued you, was the 10 most dangerous health and beauty supplements. A list of the 10 most dangerous health and beauty supplements. I hope it got your attention. It should get your attention. And the reason why I'm saying this is not because I'm a hater, not because I'm not picking on any particular brand here. I'm telling you these categories are dangerous and they need to be avoided. And I will tell you why as we go through. But you say, well, how do you know this? When I look up that ingredient, I hear from doctor after doctor or nutritionist or wellness expert after wellness expert that this is important to me and this is good for me. I know. It's very confusing. And all I can tell you is I'm reporting this to you because I'm seeing the evidence of these supplements causing harm. I'm getting people off the supplements, fixing the harm they caused, and their skin or health issue gets better. Over and over and over again. If I didn't have that experience, I would not be giving this video. So I'm here to tell you this, you can take it to the bank. These supplements are dangerous and they need to be avoided. They should be immediately stopped if you're on them right now. And I'm going to say that with this caveat. Different people have different environmental factors. You might be somebody who eats incredibly clean. You're always eating organic. You don't eat processed food. Let's say you avoid sugar and dairy. Like you're super, super clean. Then these wellness products may not immediately be causing you harm visibly, but they generally do. Another one, like one of the things I'm going to be talking about is how certain wellness products promote Candida in the body. And so I'm going to explain to you how that shows up on your skin today. But not everybody is Candida prone, and especially if they don't have sugar in their diet, they don't have mucus forming foods in their diet, then even though this product promotes Candida, they're tolerating it. So let me get into it. I think I'll explain it more as we go along. This list of 10 is not in any particular order. I'm not building up to the worst possible one, but I am going to start with some doozies because I consistently see a problem with these. And so let us start with number one. Number one, drum roll, please. Collagen supplements. Collagen supplements. You've heard me talk about this before. These are really popular in the health and beauty space. Everyone's like, well, yeah, my skin is aging. So obviously, if I ingest collagen, that's going to help the collagen in my skin, right? And the answer is unfortunately wrong. While it is true that a fair amount of the collagen that presents to your stomach, remember you're taking this orally, topical collagen is silly. Like topical collagen doesn't penetrate into the skin. We'll leave that one alone. It's not a thing. It might cause some plumping. That's temporary topical, but we're talking about eating collagen. So number one thing you should know is most of the collagen that you're getting is not from the skin source. So it might be collagen from bone or somewhere else. And that means that the amino acid profile of the collagen that you're getting is not actually the right one for your skin, right? So you're taking collagen generally thinking it's going to be beneficial to your skin, and that supplement is actually not doing a very good job of providing the amino acids that are skin focused. Number one issue. Number two issue, most people don't have a shortage of amino acids. Amino acids are not the reason why your skin is aging. Your skin is aging due to a lack of circulation. So collagen doesn't really trigger that much activity unless you are a malnourished person, and then you might see a benefit if you're not eating enough proteins or not getting enough food groups with proline, lysine, glycine heavy foods. There is a possible reality where a little bit more of that in your system does trigger an increase in collagen production. I give room for that. I'm skeptical on the clinicals that suggest that there is actual collagen activation. I think those can be manipulated, and I honestly don't believe much benefit actually occurs. Remember, if you believe it's going to happen, you might see things that aren't there. But listen, I'll just tell you, as a general rule, a shortage of amino acids isn't the biggest problem that your skin has. The biggest problem your skin has is turning those amino acids into sticky amino acids. That is a process called hydroxylation. And the two things that do that in your skin primarily are vitamin C. We're going to talk about that. Vitamin C and alpha ketoglutarate. Vitamin C and alpha ketoglutarate. I know you probably haven't heard of the second one. Unbelievable clinical trials on alpha ketoglutarate and what it can do. And that's how I recommend taking collagen, by the way. I don't recommend taking collagen. I'll explain that in a second. So, presenting amino acids to your body, you do that every time pretty much you eat food of any kind. And so eating a little extra collagen doesn't do it. But what collagen appears to do, and again, I don't know the exact mechanism sometimes of why these are being caused. I can only hypothecate. So I believe that the way they have to treat these animal byproducts is either irradiating them or some other chemical process to take out any potential risk of infection, right? Bad bugs growing on the products. Because this is an animal product that you are drying out, and it just has the potential to be harmful for obvious reasons. And so I don't know exactly the protocol of the processes they use, but I think that has something to do with it. And the second thing is it's hard to break down collagen, and most of us aren't digesting very well. I've talked about this in other podcasts. If you eat a meal and you're drinking while you're eating a meal, you are diluting your stomach acid and you are not digesting your foods as well as you would like to. If you eat a meal with a lot of different substances, so sugar, protein, fat, and sugar being carbs, protein, and fat, all at the same time, your stomach breaks those down differently. And it's very likely that some things will be poorly processed. And the third reason why we're not digesting well is pancreatic insufficiency. And the main cause of this, believe it or not, is not your pancreas, but it's your microbiome. So if your microbiome is not healthy, the message from the stomach to the pancreas of, hey, and actually it starts in your mouth, by the way. Amazing thing about the human body is your mouth actually sends signals to your body about what digestive enzymes to send over. Right? So your pancreas sends over digestive enzymes for protein, for fat, and for carbohydrates. They're different digestive enzymes. The stomach prefers different levels of acidity. So I don't ask people to do food separation. I know some people say that's a must in their strategy, but trying not to dilute your stomach acid, really important. So anyway, because we don't break down foods, we will develop things like acid reflux. But what collagen has been shown to do, and again, I liken it to a toxin because something's happening in the process and it is causing changes to your microbiome. So when you eat collagen, it causes mucus formation. And we're going to get into this a little bit more. If you don't know about my whole story about mucus, mucus is literally the same mucus that's in your sinuses that dribbles out of your nose when you have a cold, is the same mucus that it catches in your throat, is the same mucus that causes bloating and constipation in the rest of your digestive tract. That mucus accumulates when you eat collagen. And the other thing that's interesting about collagen is a lot of times, and this is not every collagen supplement, but a lot of times collagen changes the behavior of Candida. And Candida, I have learned, is the cause of eczema, is the cause of psoriasis, is the cause of acne of the face, and is the cause of several other conditions like seborrheic dermatitis, sebaceous hyperplasia. All these different conditions have different strains of Candida as their cause. And one of the things that I've learned, again, through overseeing thousands of cases over these last decade plus, is that when Candida changes, and this is what we call in science an epigenetic change or a behavioral change of Candida, when it changes based on its environment, it puts out toxins that cause these skin conditions. So something about collagen changes Candida and causes these skin conditions to occur. The other thing that it is changing, and this is another one, and I know some of these things you're like, I've never heard of this. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. Why is this the only guy saying it? I can just tell you, if I'm telling you it's happening and you send me a case and you're struggling with the things I'm saying it's causing in you, I will clear them and I'll show it to you through the clearance of it. But it is new information, so you have to bear with that. So collagen will change the bacteria in your stomach and cause H. pylori. Now, if you Google that right now, you're going to find out that that's considered to be an infection of the stomach. I don't believe that. I believe that most infections in the body are caused by an epigenetic change. In other words, a change in the way of the behavior of the bacteria, in this case, yeast or bacteria. And the reason why that change happens is because of the environment, and it's literally changes the cellular function of that bug. And that's called an epigenetic shift. It's a big thing right now, and it should be discussed more because of what I'm saying, like H. pylori. Okay, so if you are taking collagen and you have redness around your nostrils, then it has caused you to have H. pylori. And I treat H. pylori through a strategy. I shouldn't say I treat because we're not allowed to say we treat anything, but we address H. pylori symptoms. And in particular, if you just want to talk about the redness around your nose, but you might also have acid reflux from H. pylori. You might have heartburn. You might have bloating and other problems. H. pylori causes a host of symptoms related to digestion. But on the skin mapping that we do, it's right here. And it can go here. So it's redness around the nose and down here where my fingers are touching, right there. So it's a weird pattern. Some doctors might have diagnosed you with perioral dermatitis. You could argue it is inflammation of the skin around the mouth, which is perioral dermatitis, but different things cause different things. And so this condition is caused by H. pylori in my experience. And we try to address that with protocols. The number one thing to do is to remove collagen from your supplement list. And again, Regenerate is the alternative that Osmosis has. It includes AKG. AKG is clinically proven to cause hydroxylation. And believe it or not, vitamin C, when you take it as a supplement, does not cause an increase in your collagen activation at all. AKG does, vitamin C does not. It's crazy but true, and we'll get into more vitamin C later because it's on the list. Spoiler alert. So redness here. Now, I mentioned eczema, psoriasis. If you have those symptoms, you might have, peeling in the face, on the body, somewhere that is eczema or psoriasis. You've already been diagnosed with it and you're like, wow, it's gotten worse. And because you're on collagen, that can definitely happen. So mucus accumulation can lead to allergies. So collagen can cause you to develop allergies over time. It can cause acne on the face, can cause redness or perioral dermatitis, or some doctors might diagnose you with rosacea because Candida is one of the causes of rosacea. So taking collagen can lead to redness on your whole face, redness around your mouth, redness around your nose, all those things because Candida kicks in and that can happen. So acne, rosacea, perioral dermatitis, redness around the nose, acid reflux symptoms, allergy symptoms. Yes. Now, when I go down the list, I'm going to refer to these. So I'm going into greater depth on collagen and I'm just going to tell you, oh yeah, remember those things that I mentioned before? This also causes that, just to simplify it in your mind. And so we don't make this video 2 hours long. Anything else about collagen? That's it. That's it. I do not recommend collagen supplements ever, 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 whether it's a drink, whether it's a pill. It is going to change your microbiome for the worse. Number two, and this is a mind-blowing number two. If you follow my podcast, you've heard me talk about this before. Probiotics. Probiotics should never be taken. Probiotics should never be taken. Now, what do probiotics do? Why is that true? Well, the summary of probiotics is this. You are full of good bugs. We can classify those bugs in your gut, in your microbiome, in your whole body. You have, and the experts are, now sort of varying on their position, so I'll give you the range. You have between 35 and 60 trillion good bugs in your body. 35 to 60 trillion. That's a lot of bugs. And those bugs didn't come from your diet. This is disclosure number one. Bugs do not come from the diet. Yeah, some bugs come from the diet. Some bad bugs come. So all the bugs in your body, and they can be different types of bugs, I suppose. I'm not talking about viruses. I think viruses are man-made. I'm talking about mold is a bad bug, right? You don't want mold. Fungus is generally going to be a bad thing in your body. Yeast can be good. So yeast cells in your body are part of your microbiome. Candida can be a healthy part of your microbiome unless it changes to its bad self based on the environment. We remember the epigenetic shift. So you have that, and then you have a bunch of different bacteria. Many of them don't have a name. A lot of them have very exotic names, very lab-based names like, and this is made up, but like B27Y strain, right? So somebody's identified a new strain of bugs. And I'm here to tell you that you do have lactobacillus strains, several of them in your gut. But the one you get in yogurt, you don't have a shortage of. The ones you get in fermented foods, you don't have a shortage of. That's not your problem. And more of that bug, it turns out in clinical trials, make you fat. You don't want a bunch of lactobacillus in your body. Yogurt is bad for you. Yogurt causes mucus. It's not on my supplement list. I'm just reminding you, yogurt is not good for you. I don't care if it's Greek yogurt or whatever kind of yogurt. Fermented foods are generally not good for you in excess. Can you have the occasional yogurt? Yes. If you have yogurt every day and you don't have skin issues, great. But I'm here to tell you that if you're prone to skin issues, if you're prone to Candida, yogurt will absolutely kick you in to overdrive and you will start to develop acne and blackheads and congestion and you will be sad. And I don't want you to be sad. We're here to keep you happy. We're here to clear these issues. So back to probiotics. So you have a bunch of good bugs in your body and they're exotic. They're wild strains. They're not in the baby food and the Gerbers and the milk-based products that so many kids on the formulas that so many kids are on. Those bugs aren't in there, but yet the experts will tell you that your bacteria come from the food you eat in the first 2 years of life. I'm here to debunk that rumor. It's absolutely clinically impossible. It doesn't come from the dirt that you saw your child eating while they were playing on the ground outside. Those aren't the good bugs either. The bugs come from your DNA. Your DNA is amazing. It needs a lot of different cells to function. You have somewhere between 35 and 100 trillion cells in your body. And because the experts are all over the place on that, by the way. Last I saw, it was 100 trillion. Now I go back and Google says it's 35 trillion in men, 28 trillion in women. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where they're getting this. I don't know who's counting. I feel sorry for that little lab technician who's like 1001, 1002. That doesn't sound like a good time. But you have all these cells in your body. Your DNA makes them all. And all I'm saying is the bugs that are also in your body doing the same work. Just so you know, just because it's a probiotic in your system, it's breaking down the food. It's helping food absorption. It's processing toxins. It's may even be courting. Like I think there's a connection between Candida and diabetes. So I think, it somehow affects sugar regulation. Your microbiome, as I mentioned earlier, determines which digestive enzymes your pancreas puts out. There's a lot of information going on. And the reason why it's so amazingly precise, even though they're theoretically not part of us, oh, I just learned something new. I'm going to celebrate with finger quotes. Theoretically, they're not part of us. Well, I'm here to tell you they are. Your DNA builds them back. So I believe in a prebiotic, and not all most prebiotics are bad. A lot of people think fermented food is a prebiotic. No, no, no. The best prebiotic is sea buckthorn oil, fruit, seed, and pulp. The best probiotic I've ever found is sea buckthorn oil. So what feeds your good bacteria, it turns out, isn't what the internet is telling you. And probiotics are bad. Now, there was a clinical trial done on probiotics where they gave people antibiotics and then they gave them a probiotic or they just let them get better on their own. And it turned out their microbiome became whole faster without anything compared to with a probiotic. That study's out there. I think you can still find it. And my own experience, which is watching thousands of cases, when I see people get on probiotics, two main things happen. Number one, they develop H. pylori, redness around the nostrils. First thing I see very often. The second thing that happens is they develop worsening of Candida. So probiotics cause Candida skin conditions. Defer to my last conversation. That's acne, eczema, and again, a specific type of acne, eczema, rosacea, perioral dermatitis, sebaceous hyperplasia, all those things. Probiotics will cause in you. Why? Because those bacteria affect Candida in a way that promotes it. So stay away from probiotics, stay away from excess digestion of fermented foods, stay away from yogurt. I know, opposite of what you're reading online. You have to trust me. This is thousands of cases. I don't have a reason to hate. Shoot, man, if I thought probiotics were the answer, in fact, I spent 2 years trying to formulate this amazing exotic collection of probiotic strains until it finally came to me and I came to my senses and realized prebiotics. Now, I don't like inulin is not a good prebiotic, generally speaking. And people are like, well, how do you know sea buckthorn is a good prebiotic? Because of the studies on sea buckthorn and what it does good for gut health in those studies. And then from my own experience in thousands of cases watching recovery resolve issues, I should say, address issues that I'm finding with all these other issues. So please stop your probiotic. Please trust me. Now, are there a couple of strains that are anti-Candida strains? There are. Again, most, like 1 in a million people need some help maybe in their gut that's prone to acne. Now, you could be on probiotics and you're saying, wait, Dr. Johnson, I beg to differ. I wanted on probiotics for my constipation and my constipation got better. What do you say to that? Or I went on probiotics for my bloating and my bloating got better. It's possible. It's not because of good changes to your gut, because I promise you those probiotics are not what your gut needed. You have 10,000 different bacteria estimated in your gut microbiome, and the chance that this bottle contains exactly what you need and nothing else is impossible, because you have a lot of different shortages. Remember, our microbiome gets hit by all the food preservatives that are in our food. It gets hit by all the chlorine that's in our water. It gets hit by all the pesticides that are in our food. Our microbiome is always in a shortage. So eating good, nutritious food is the best way to get your microbiome back. So what is my point here? My point is to say, trust me, probiotics are always bad. Don't use them. They will cause these conditions, all the ones I mentioned, and they thwart my results all the time. I'll when I get people say I'm not getting better, and I look at their supplements, I'm like, well, you got to get off of that. And then they get off of that, and then they get better. So it is, in fact, it's just a proven time over time test of it. Okay. Anything else I want to say about probiotics? You got to watch out for probiotics. They sneak them into stuff. They sneak them into multivitamins. They sneak them into greens. There's a very, very popular daily green drink that has probiotics in it that's causing harm left and right. They put them into food sometimes. I don't know. Look on your labels, guys. Look on your labels. You're going to watch out for it. Okay. Number 3 of the most dangerous products in the health and beauty industry. And again, I like to shock people, but I'm not shocking you for shock value alone. Magnesium is the number 3 most dangerous product you can take. And you could say, well, wait, Dr. Ben, collagen, probiotics, really? Is that dangerous? Listen, I get these emails from people. They go into their doctor, they have rosacea from the supplements they were taking, and their doctor begins to poison them with antibiotics. Right? We know antibiotics are harmful to the body. I hope poison is not too aggressive of a word. They might have acne. They'll put them on Accutane. They'll tell them that this condition is with them for the rest of their life when it comes to like rosacea. They'll put them on steroid creams. That's why these are dangerous. They're dangerous because what you do to yourself after you get these conditions. They're dangerous because they can absolutely change a person's mental well-being. They don't want to go outside anymore because they have horrible perioral dermatitis, horrible rosacea, horrible acne, and they're embarrassed and their self-esteem is ruined. This is why I say they're dangerous. So bear with me as we get to number 3. And how many minutes in? Oh, Lord, this is going to be a 1-hour podcast. So number 3, magnesium. Magnesium is bad in all forms except for chelate. Magnesium chelate, and it can't say magnesium chelate in the form of magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate. It should just be plain old magnesium chelate. Every other form of magnesium is bad. What's the worst? Magnesium oxide, the worst. But second worst, magnesium citrate, probably the most commonly ingested one. And people say to me all the time, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Magnesium, like every other doctor says, we have a deficiency in that, and that's the reason why I'm anxious. Or we have a deficiency in that, and that's the reason why I'm constipated. Or we have a deficiency in that, and that's the reason why I can't sleep. Not true in all cases. Does magnesium help a stressed person relax? Yes. Does magnesium cause changes in the gut that can make a constipated person poop better? Yes. It's called mucus formation. Magnesium promotes mucus. That is its number 1 cause. Now, magnesium oxide may also cause H. pylori. Again, redness around here. So many people have H. pylori. It is an absolute epidemic right now, and nobody even knows they have it. And here's the problem with H. pylori. Please listen to me on this problem, because I get these emails all the time, and I'm like, oh, you have H. pylori. And the patient writes back, I tested for H. pylori. They said I don't have it. Those tests are garbage. They're garbage. I've told the story of one of my sons had an upper GI where they did biopsies to see if he had H. pylori, and they found he did not. Biopsies. They do other tests, spit tests, other forms of tests to look for H. pylori. I don't know why the tests are so bad, but I can just tell you if you have redness around your nostrils, and by the way, not everyone with H. pylori shows it on the skin. It seems like a lot are showing, but not everybody does. So you could have H. pylori and not have redness around your nose. My son's a great example. He only occasionally would get redness or acne around his nose. He didn't have that most of the time, but he had H. pylori, and he went through a traditional protocol at the time. And yeah, I mean, what is the traditional protocol for H. pylori? It's hard to fix H. pylori. Do you know why? Because most people keep taking the wellness products, the beauty products, the health products, the supplements that cause it. But also because, not every antibiotic kills it, because if you keep promoting it while you're on an antibiotic, even though you kill the H. pylori that has turned into H. pylori, there's a lot of bacteria that are almost H. pylori that are not yet H. pylori. Remember, I believe it shifts to H. pylori. So there's this whole range of almost H. pyloris that show up, and as a result, they end up they end up turning into H. pylori later, but they don't respond to antibiotics because they're not yet H. pylori. Antibiotics only work when it's changed to that toxic form. I know it's a bit complicated, but that, it is what it is. I got to tell them the truth. Okay, so magnesium's bad because of the mucus formation. So it leads you to get allergies. Why does it help constipation? Because mucus is slippery. So sometimes making more mucus in your gut helps poop slip out. Sorry to be so graphic. So my point is simply to say, if you have anxiety, it's not because you have a magnesium shortage. You have anxiety maybe because you have a hormone imbalance. You might have anxiety because of past trauma. Both of those things we try to address with our supplementation. We don't give you magnesium for magnesium's sake. Now, I do have a product called Elevate with magnesium chelate in it because I think it's an important part of manufacturing ATP, which is what the main goal of that product is. But if you're looking for magnesium, you could certainly source it out in there. Again, the product is called Elevate. But if you have trouble sleeping, generally that could be because of stress. It could be because of a shortage of neurotransmitters, especially one called GABA. But it's not because you have a shortage of magnesium. It could be because of hormones. So again, we might use a protocol to address the real reasons why you can't sleep well, but we're not going to give you magnesium for that because it causes harm to your gut. It's a problem. And again, magnesium oxide causes harm to the microbiome. Magnesium in other forms is harmful it wounds the gut. Why do we develop mucus? Because our gut is being wounded. So anything that forms mucus is formed because the gut is being wounded. Okay, you know what? Some of you might be like, I can't believe you stopped. I'm going to stop after 5 and do a part 1 and part 2. I've just made the determination. Anything else I want to say about magnesium? You have to stop it. If you have acne in the face, if you have blackheads on your nose, on your cheeks, that comes from mucus. Blackheads come from mucus in your gut. 100% truth. This is the stuff we've learned, and it's incredible. It's so helpful. Once you know that, you're like, if you have constantly clearing your throat, you have mucus. If you have allergies or you have a chronic runny nose, you've got mucus. We call congested skin, interestingly, the same term that we call our sinuses when there's too much mucus, congested. So you've got to get rid of the mucus. We have a patent pending supplement designed to target mucus. It's the only one in the world, and it's called Skin Clarifier. Sometimes you need 1, sometimes you need 2, sometimes you need 3. If you've had mucus for over a year, your mucus will get hard. Some people call that mucus plaques. In order to address that issue, when you take your Skin Clarifier, you also take our Skin Aid. So those two together, Skin Clarifier and Skin Aid, address people that have had mucus for over a year. So how do you know if you've had mucus over a year? Well, usually it's going to be because you also have acne for over a year, or rosacea for over a year, or eczema for over a year. Some people need as many as 3 Skin Clarifiers in a row. Most people need 2. Most people need 1 Skin Aid taken with it. Some people need 2 Skin Aids taken with it. So in the worst case of mucus, if you have really, really bad cystic acne or bad eczema, then I recommend you take Skin Clarifier for 3 rounds and Skin Aid for 2 rounds. That combination is a 30-day combination, and it's what I would call a 30-day mucus cleanse. I'm not saying it's to treat eczema or severe acne. I'm saying we're just addressing the mucus part. If your skin clears as a result, we're not claiming that correlation. Okay, we're going to go to number 4. Number 4 on the list of the most dangerous supplements to watch out for. Again, these are mind-blowing. I know. Number 4 is B12. B12. Talk about the hype, right? If you want to list the most hyped supplements, I think the first 4 are probably the most hyped supplements out there today. And I know what you're saying. You're like, wait, I'm tired. My doctor says I'm low in B12. I really need B12. How do I get it? You get it by ingesting liver. We have that in our Regenerate supplement. It has liver extract, a healthy amount of it, grass-fed, farm-raised Argentinian liver extract. You can get it by IV. I have found IV B12 generally doesn't cause the harm to the microbiome. But here's what I can only report what I've seen over thousands of cases, and that is that if you take methylcobalamin, B12, or cyanocobalamin, which is B12 made from cyanide, which is particularly bad. Do never, ever do cyanocobalamin, and most people shouldn't do methylcobalamin orally. If you do those, you will promote Candida. So again, Candida, acne, rosacea, perioral dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, all can be promoted by B12. And again, I don't know why it's when directly taken as a supplement, it's harmful to the gut, but it is. I promise you, it is. And I know, like, if you really feel like you need B12, go get IV B12, but do not take it orally, especially if you're prone to Candida conditions. And so I don't have to spend too much more time on that one. Number 5 of a list of 10 of the most dangerous, the final one on my list in part 1 of this video, number 5 is calcium. Calcium, a very popular supplement. A lot of people feel they need it for bone health. What I can tell you is there's very little evidence to show calcium supplementation helps osteoporosis. It's a questionable effect. I don't know if it has to do with oral absorption. I'm not saying you shouldn't have more calcium in your diet. I do believe in that. I'm not saying calcium isn't important to bone health. It absolutely is. Calcium and phosphorus are 2 big players. I wonder sometimes if phosphorus is not the most important part of that combination when it comes to people's bone health. But I want people to have healthy bones. So we do have supplement protocols in that category. One of them is Aegis Vitality. One of them is Joint Relief Elixir. One of them is Regenerate. And all of those, I think, can help you improve, as a general sense, bone health. We won't get into any specifics, but you can always go to my AI search engine on my website and ask for specific conditions and see if a protocol comes up for that condition. Again, we're not correlating the protocol to a clearance of the condition. We just have products we recommend for certain conditions, and our clients seem to be very happy. That is what I have to say these days. So the one type of calcium that I find is the least irritating is coral calcium. It is the least irritating to the gut. So if you really, really want to be on calcium, look for coral calcium. I think that's a fair statement. But what does it do? It forms mucus. Most forms of calcium form mucus in the gut, leading to all the mucus conditions, eczema, candida, blackheads and congestion, acne, yeast infections. I should throw that. All the candida stuff leads to more yeast infections. It's estimated that 80% of Americans, because of our diet, have candidiasis or an excess of candida in our systems. But what has not been the case is no one is correlating that excess Candida to all the skin conditions. That has been my personal discovery. As far as I know, no one else has discovered that. And I can just I'm telling you, take it to the bank. Thousands of cases. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Okay. So I hope that list was helpful to you. I will continue with the last 5 supplements in part 2. Again, just because this is 40 minutes already, I think we should divide it up. So I apologize in advance for those who are like, let's go. Keep it coming. We'll see you next time.
I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ask Dr. Ben. Please leave a review if you can, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts to get access to all of my upcoming episodes. My website is osmosisbeauty.com, and you can find me on Facebook at osmosisbeauty. You can also follow me on Instagram at osmosis_beauty. Thanks for listening.